guys, hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to show you a cool math calendar magic trick. And I'm also going to do some other videos this week with math magic tricks because I just thought that would be fun, something that you can share with your family and show off your math magical skills. So this one is a calendar trick, and so you don't have to have a calendar to do this, but it makes it kind of more fun if you do. If you don't have a calendar at your house, that's okay. You don't actually need one. But we're going to use my calendar for this. And then you'll also need a piece of paper and a pencil, and that's it. So let's get started. This is my calendar. It's called Space Cats. My dad got it for me for Christmas, and it hangs in my laundry room. And so I just flipped to May, and you can see that crazy cat that has a lightsaber because of May the 4th. That was Star Wars Day. That was last Monday. And so what you do here is you pick a grid of 9 dates. So for instance, the ones that I chose first, and I just wrote them on a separate piece of paper, I chose these dates: 6th, 7th, and 8th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So basically you kind of draw an imaginary line around those dates, and then I just copied them onto a piece of paper. So what I would like for you to do is figure out the sum of these dates. So pause the video for just a second and add up all those dates together. Okay, so when you do that, this is what you get. And this is how I did it. I added the first row, the second row, the third row, and then I just added the 3 rows together, and I got 126. Now, if you ask someone to do that, you can say, okay, find the sum of those dates. And that's probably what they'll do. Or they might even, add it like this. There's lots of different ways to add all these dates together. But you are going to learn a trick. And the trick is, all you have to do is multiply the middle number by 9. Okay? So 126 is what we got when we found the sum. Now I want you to multiply 14 times 9 and see what you get. So pause it for just a second. Okay, 14 times 9 equals 126. Weird, right? So you're probably thinking, yeah, she picked those dates because it works for those dates. Well, I'm going to show you another set of dates. Okay, these are completely different, right? So 11, 12, 13, 18, 19, 20, and 25, 26, 27. And I'll just show you how they match up on the calendar. Okay, you can see there's 11, 12, 13, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so now if you add up all those dates, I just used the same method again. I just added the first, second, and third rows together, and then I added those sums. Okay, and I got 171. Now, multiply 19 times 9. You get 171. So, is it magic or is it math? Now, if you would like to see how this works and why this works, it gets a little bit advanced in the area of algebra. So, if you are just happy with knowing this trick and you just want to go show it off right now, go for it. If you are a math whiz and you're really interested in seeing why this works, then stick around. Okay, so when I looked at this, I noticed some patterns. I noticed that if you look at the 19, I noticed that if I look at the differences between 19 and 11, 19 and 12, 19 and 13, I noticed that the difference between 19 and 11 is 8. The difference between 12 and 19 is 7, and the difference between 19 and 13 is 6. Okay, and then on the bottom row, I noticed that it was kind of the opposite. So the difference between 19 and 25 is 6, the difference here is 7, and the difference here is 8. And I thought, well, there's got to be some kind of connection. There's got to be a reason for that. Okay, then I also looked at the columns. So 18 and 11, the difference there is 7, and the difference between 18 and 25 is also 7, which makes sense, right? Because that's how a calendar is set up. There are 7 days in a week. So if you look at the dates on the calendar, on the columns, they're all going to be, the difference is always going to be 7. So I thought about all of that, And that didn't really help me understand why 19 times 7 is going, or 19 times 9 is going to equal the sum of all of these numbers. So I did some research on the internet, and I found a website that talked about the algebra behind this. So I didn't come up with this myself. I had to look it up. But this is how it works. So you have to think of this first number as x. Remember, that's a variable that stands for an unknown. Okay, so if I put x in here, and then I think about how are all of the other numbers related to this number. So this second number here would be 11 plus 1, or x plus 1. This one would be 11 plus 2, or x plus 2. And so what I did was I created this grid that shows all of these numbers and how they relate to this first one. Okay, and all I did, and this will be the same for any grid, right? For any grid of the 9 numbers on the calendar, because this number x will always be related to that corner in the same way. They'll always have a difference of 16. So then I thought, well, to figure out the sum using the x, I think I have to look at, well, there's 9 x's in there, so that's how I got the 9x. Okay, and then I added up all of the numbers and I got 72. Okay, and then what you can do is what we call simplifying. Now, you guys know about simplifying because of fractions. You can also simplify expressions, and you've done some of that, but this is a little bit different. So what you can do is you can say, okay, I have 9 and I have 72 in this expression. I can divide both of those by 9, and then what happens is you can do something called the distributive property, or kind of the reverse of the distributive property, and you end up with this expression. These are equal. They mean the same thing. So that is why, if you look at that middle number, x plus 8, if I multiply whatever x plus 8 is times 9, I get the sum. That's pretty cool. That's why I like algebra, because it explains so many things. And like I said, I wouldn't have come up with this on my own because I was looking at patterns in a little bit different way. But when I discovered it, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. So that's why this magic trick works. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back with more cool math magic tricks. Bye, guys.